The federal government wants to pay someone to do research studies on Canadians' leisure travel. They want to know why we travel, where we travel, and if we are enjoying ourselves while absolute mayhem and chaos unfolds in Canada's busiest airport due to cost-cutting layoffs by the feds and vaccine firings.
You're seeing all these delays in the airport. The airports say that this is part of the delay that's adding to the bottleneck, and the government seems to be the exception in saying these are still needed when every other jurisdiction in Canada says they're not. So what is the justification for it?
Well, I mean, other jurisdictions in Canada still have vaccine mandate. In BC, they have vaccine mandate, I think, for the health sector. And
but not for the average person.
Those people who work in the health sector.
Right, but not for the average person in a restaurant or traveling.
Exactly. I don't want to argue specifics with you, but you said there are no mandates across the country. I'm saying there are mandates across the country. There are mandates across the world.
All right, at this point now I go and I see there is a 400-person line with 2 Air Canada workers. There's 1 million canceled flights, so everyone's just panicking. So I waited in that line about 6 hours. Near the end of the line, by the way, you know how much my feet hurt? Near the end of the line, they closed it. They just said, oh, you have to go somewhere else. We had to re-enter Canada. We had to go through Canadian customs. So by the time I finally see someone from Air Canada, it's 1 a.m.
Toronto's Pearson Airport is Canada's busiest, and yet, through government mismanagement and vaccine mandates, and because the federal government is now forcing Canadian airports to turn into enhanced biosecurity labs, it's become a hellscape of disorder and transport purgatory wherein no amount of prayers of the faithful can save your soul from languishing in wait line stasis. So what are the feds doing about all of this? Well, priorities. They want to pay someone to study the amount and quality of our leisure travel. It's here on the government's procurement website. Let me save these people the cost of the study. 6 million people are banned from traveling because of their medical status. Making airport staff act as lab techs testing those who can travel is a disaster. Some people can't even get their passports renewed because everything the Liberals touch around transportation turns to hot garbage. And as for quality, it's hellish. A crap storm of international proportions, a global embarrassment. Look at this.
I said, can I just get my bags? I had a ride to Buffalo all set up, and I had a JetBlue flight from Buffalo. I just need to get out of this country, out of this airport. This is the worst airport on earth. I'm telling you, there's no other airport like this. I'm so in shock at this place. It is the biggest disgrace known to man.
You think this is an exaggeration, just a one-of event, a bad day? Here's Blacklocks from just the other day. Laid off 24% of airport staff. Almost a quarter of the nation's airport security screeners were laid off as a pandemic cost savings. Canadian Air Transport Security Authority figures disclosed yesterday. The authority said contractors were scrambling to rehire staff amid hours-long waits for travelers. It is not a funding problem. And instead of being mortified enough to get mobilized to deal with the public relations disaster unfolding in the travel and tourism industry, Destination Canada, the federal agency tasked with promoting Canada as a premium tourism destination, is concerned about other things. Their greenhouse gas emissions. DC requires a Canadian incorporated contractor to perform an organizational review using industry-accepted standards to measure and monitor the quantity of greenhouse gas emissions that are produced as a result of its global operations. The contractor will also provide an immediate short-term and long-term course of action plan with a proposed timeline over which to reduce emissions in order for DC to reach net zero emissions and produce a report suitable for DC's executive and board of directors. If these people want to reach zero emissions, maybe they should shut down their government agency meant to promote people flying to Canada. I mean, that seems silly since they keep telling me there's a climate emergency, but I shouldn't give these people any ideas. I'm pro-flying for everyone, not just the biomedical elite. Let us never forget that of all the studies and analyses the government agencies have done with regard to travel and tourism, they've never once bothered to study whether their restrictions on planes and trains are actually doing anything but making Canadians furious with their own government. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Thousands of people all across Canada have been fired because of vaccine mandates, but we are helping them fight back through strategic litigation. If you'd like to help fund our work in partnership with the Democracy Fund, please consider making a donation at fightvaccinepassports.com. And because of that partnership with the registered Canadian charity, the Democracy Fund, all donations there now qualify for a charitable tax receipt.